Hi,
Hello,
Mark.
Ernie. Hi, Harold.
Hello.
Hi, Harold.
Ernie,
Hi.
you saw Rabbi Gottesman? He would be amazingly proud of you.
Thank
Can
you.
you believe it?
Yeah, thank you.
Who would have thunk?
I
The
mentioned
fact that you were Richie's friend is even more so.
Rabbi Gottesman in the same.
Yeah. It's amazing. What are the Amazon reviews like? Have you read any?
We'll see.
Is there a review place for Sforum?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, curious.
HebrewBooks.org.
Maybe Yelp.
Yelp.
That is such a terrible thing, what they do to doctors and
On Yelp?
yeah. And
Horrible.
because
Yeah.
we see about 2,000 patients a month.
Yeah.
And you get 2 or 3 crank who'll write something,
Yeah.
and it colors the whole practice.
And you don't even know if it could be a total stranger or it could be a competitor. I know on Amazon with my products, the negative reviews are usually, the shipment came and the box was broken. Has nothing to do with me. Amazon ships it, but I get a low rating. It's not my fault. But what can you do?
Yeah, it's a crazy system.
Crazy system.
And then the average person, doesn't have anything. First of all, a lot of the people don't even have computers to go and give you a rating or something like that.
Who has time to bother? It's like who has time to write a whole Megillah? It makes no sense to me.
And yeah, I'm with you on that. But
Yeah, where are we holding?
we're on Yud Zay, the new Perek
Oh,
Sheni.
good.
And the Mishnah, right?
Mishnah. Ketzad Eshes Achiv Shelo Haya Ba'olam. What does it mean to be a brother that was not in the world, with the original brother? Shnei Achim, Reuven and Shimon, Umeis Echad Mehem. And Reuven dies. And Reuven's widow, nothing had happened to the widow. She's there. V'nolad lahen ach. And now Levi is born, a third brother. So the Levi was not around when Reuven was alive. So that doesn't, so he's not allowed to be miyabim Reuven's widow because he was not an ach who was around when Reuven was around. That's the concept. So what happens is Shimon goes ahead and does yibum to Reuven's widow. And then Shimon dies. Okay? So now you have Shimon's wife, and then the woman, Reuven's wife that Shimon married. Those 2 women fall to Levi. Harishona Yotz.
Levi? But he wasn't alive when
Again, Reuven and Shimon, only brothers that are alive. They're both married. Reuven dies without children. And before Shimon does anything, Levi is born.
Oh,
Okay. And then Shimon does yibum to Reuven's widow. And then 10 years later, or 15 years later, Shimon dies without children. And the woman that Shimon did yibum to, who is now his wife, and let's say Shimon's original wife, because he was married to somebody else, that's the tzara. Those 2 women fall to Levi. Levi is the remaining brother, Mario. Right?
Now I get it. Yeah. I
But
misunderstood.
Harishona Yotze Mishemesh Tzachim Shelo Be'olomo. Reuven's original wife, is the relationship with Levi is an Eshes Achiv Shelo Be'olomo. he can't do Yibum to her because he was not a brother that was alive when Reuven was alive. And not only that, because that woman is an erva to Levi, it makes Shimon's other wife also potter, right? It's a tzara of an erva, right? Harishona yotze mishemesh zachem shel be'olamo, ve'ashniya mishum tzarasa, right? The Shimon's original wife that now falls to Levi is a tzara of an erva, and therefore he can't do yibum or chlitza to either. Now here comes a tricky part. Also, b'maimer v'meis. Let's say Shimon had never gotten around to actually marry the Reuven's widow. He gave maimer to her, which means it's like he gave her kiddushin, and then Shimon dies. And then these two women fall to Levi, right? Because Levi had been born right after the death of Reuven. So since Shimon didn't really marry, he didn't really complete the Yibum, the co-wife, Shimon's other wife, doesn't get the P'tur completely. Because it's not that it's not like they were co-wives together fully.
Yeah, Ernie, what's the advantage of someone doing mimer? What do they gain by doing that only?
It reserves the woman for him. It's like he gave her kiddushin. Let's say Harold, let's say there were 5 brothers.
Okay.
And Reuven dies. And Shimon jumps ahead and does mimer.
Oh.
Up until that moment, all 4 of the brothers could have done Yibum to her.
Ah.
The mimer sort of reserves her.
Gotcha. Thanks.
So therefore, in the case of the Mishnah, Shniya Choletzes V'lo Misyaberes. By the way, tomorrow we're going to learn at the shul at 5:00 because it shows that Rabbi Segelman's going to give a shiur at 6. So they moved up the shiur till 5 in the Kolenu. Okay? Okay. Rav Nachman, my mandatani rishoina lo mishtabish, mandatana shniya lo mishtabish. The words rishoina and shniya, they're not confused. The one who calls her the rishona because she fell, the woman fell in front of Levi twice. Why? Mandatani Rishona lo mishtabesh. My Rishona l'nefila. We're talking about the first woman, Reuven's original wife, who fell first. Mandatani shniya lo mishtabesh. My shniya l'nesuin. Because it was the second brother, Shimon. This was his second wife because he already married to another woman. The woman that he did Yibum to is, in a sense, his second wife. So they're referring to the same woman. Milo askinan. Now, Milo askinan diyabi v'achakach konas. The Gemara says it's not necessarily a proof because even if Shimon had done Yibum to the woman and then married a second woman, there would be no difference. When the 2 women fell, the other one would still be at Sarah. Regarding the second brother, he was already married. This is his second marriage. Then this tour of Eishes Achiv Shlai B'Lama Hechek Ksiva, where is it written in the Torah? Amid Amarav Amar Krak Ki Yeshvu Achim Yachdav. 2 brothers have to be in the world together. Levi, who was born after the death of Reuven, was not in the world with Reuven, so he does not get the heter of living with the Eishesach. Yachtav miyuchadim benachla, prat la'achi v'naim. Yachtav refers to brothers from the same father because they share inheritance, as opposed to brothers from the same mother where they have nothing to do with inheritance. Rabba Omar, no. Achim min ha'av, the fact that Yibum relates to Achim min ha'av, Yolif achva achva b'bnei Yaakov. It says the word Achiv by the Bnei Yaakov. Therefore, all the 12 brothers of Yaakov were from the same father, even though they had different mothers. Leah, Rachel, Bilhah, Zilpah. So by Yibum works the same way. Why don't we say there, you're not allowed to marry the wife of your brother, whether it's a brother from the same father, brother from the same mother. So maybe Yibum should do the same thing. So the Gemara says, Danim achim ha'achim. The words by Yaakov is achim, and the words by Yibum is achim, and the word by Erva is achicha. So we rather make a gzera shava achim achim ve'in danim achim achicha. So the Gemara says, what's wrong with that? My nafkamina. Hatan v'shava koin uva koin. There is a Gemara where they make a gzera shava, even though the words are not the same. In one place it says v'shava koin. In another place it says uba koin. Zui shiva, zui bia. So the Gemara says, hanimili, yes. Heicha deleka midi dedamile. If you don't have exact words, you can make a hekesh or a gzer shava even through meaning. But if you have words that are exactly the same, we always make the gzer shava from words that are equal. There is another place where it says achim by Avram and Lot, and there they weren't even brothers; they were cousins or nephews. So maybe Yibum should take place with any kiruv. So the Gemara says, mistabra, logically, mibnei Yaakov havlei lemelav. It still makes more sense to learn it from the Bnei Yaakov. Yishum the mufni, because it's free and clear. It didn't have to say the word achim. It's a free and clear word, made easy to darshan. Then the Gemara says, why do I need achim and yachtav? Because which means any relationship maybe could do yibum, not just brothers. But it is mufne. However, it could have said reim, didn't have to say achim. The fact that it said achim means it's free and clear to learn for a drasha. Yachtav comes to teach me it's the type of brothers mina'av that share in Yerusha. Maybe you only do yibum when it's brothers from the same father and mother. So we have to be told no. It's like we learn it from Yaakov, where they were brothers from the same father only. So the Gemara says, did we actually learn it from there? Yibum benachla tol rachmana. The whole point of Yibum is for the remaining brother to take over the estate of the brother. It says that. And v'nachla min avlo ben Naomi. It's very clear that Yerusha comes from the father, not the mother. The Gemara says it's strict. We still need it to be taught with a special pasuk. Listen, the whole issue of Yibum, that you're allowed to marry an erva, is a novel concept. And therefore, to come a mashtere erva gabe, since they're being mater and erva, ema adam yachtiva abba uva ima. Maybe the relationship has to be brothers from the same father and mother. Shricha, that no, even if they're just brothers from the same father, that's enough to create the Yibum kesher. Okay. Arba Namarav. Shomeres Yom Shemesa. Mutter Be'ima. Reuven and Shimon. Reuven dies. The wife that Reuven was married to falls to Shimon. Shimon hasn't done anything. He hasn't done mimer, he hasn't done yibum, and then the woman dies. Shimon is allowed to marry that woman's mother. So you're not normally not allowed to, if you had given her kiddush, if you had done yibum, obviously you can't marry mother because it's his mother-in-law. If you had done kiddushin, same thing. But the zika is the electricity, is the connection that exists the moment Reuven dies between that woman and the remaining brother, does not create a strong enough connection to make her relatives prohibited to him. Al maksaver ein zika. Must be that according to Rav Huna Marav, there's no zika. Why did you have to say the way you said it? Just say the halacha is like the person who says ein zika. Because betray. Fine. Let's say you have Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Reuven dies. So now the woman is connected to both Shimon and Levi. You know what? That's a weak zika. Because either one could be miyabim her. But maybe if there was only one brother, Reuven and Shimon, that zika is strong. And maybe Ababachad yesh zika, and it would be usher to marry the mother. So we say no. So why don't you say the halacha is like the person who says there's no zika connection even with one brother? So well, I might think that the only time you can't marry your mother is while she's alive. Or maybe, no, the Havamina was afilu mechayim, that you'd be allowed to marry the mother even when the woman is alive. Kamash B'Allah, no. Shla'achar misa in. It's only after she dies that the brother could live with her mother, but not while she's alive. Why? Mishum de'asr levatel mitzvahs yevamim. A different reason. If Shimon went ahead and married that woman's mother, he wouldn't be able to do yibum. So we can't, it's asr to be mevatel mitzvahs yibum. So that's why you can't marry while she's alive. So then it says like this, Tana. Yivimto Shemesa, Reuven dies, the woman falls to Shimon, and then that woman dies. Muter ba'choisa. Shimon can marry her sister. Ba'choisa in bi'imalo. Maybe that seems to suggest, not like we've been learning, that Shimon can't marry her mother. Or says no. Who I didn't feel he can marry anybody, the sister or the mother. I did the Tana Reisha, Ishto Shemesa Muter Ba'chosa, Ba'chosa in aval bi'imalo, that just like in the Reisha it says, if a person's wife dies, you're allowed to marry her sister, not the mother, because you could never marry a mother and a daughter, whether alive or not alive. Davile Yisur D'Oraisa. Tana Nami Sefer Muter Ba'choso. But it really also there, it's clearly mutter bi'imo as well. So, in contradistinction to Rav Huna, Amar Rav Yehuda Amar, Shomeres Yav Shemesa Aser bi'imo. That if Reuven and Shimon, and Reuven dies, and the woman falls to Shimon, and the woman dies before Shimon does anything, Shimon is aser to marry her mother. There is a zika, and it's as if they were married. And even though just like when you're married to someone, that person dies, you're never allowed to marry her mother, even after her death. So you see, zika is like a marriage. Al maksaver yesh zika. And we paskin this way. We paskin that the moment a woman falls, the fall alone prevents you from ever marrying any of her relatives. Why don't we just say the halacha is like the person who says Yezika? So hava omar hachi. If we would have said like this, havamina hanimina bechad. It's only with one brother that there's zika. But maybe if there were two brothers, betray ain't zika. Vahaki pligi betray pligi. But the argument is by two brothers. Ela omar hachi havamina mechai. We'll continue this tomorrow.
Ernie,
Ernie.
Yeah.
what happens with
Right.
mime, if someone does mimer, does that